Good morning. So thank you for joining. Namaste. As always, please practice according to your condition and please respect your limitations. Remember that practice is an offering, so we just try to offer the best of the best and not go into a place of pain or suffering, anxiety, or distress. This is not what you want to transmit to anybody. So on that note, let's begin. So sit quietly, close your eyes, bring the attention inward. Nothing to do, nothing to seek. Everything we need is already within. Let's begin with the sound of Om 3 times to attract divine attention. Imagine you're everywhere, established in the hearts of all beings. Fix your mind on God alone. Rest your thoughts in God alone. And in God you will live hereafter. Of this there is no doubt. Om Namah Shivaya. I bow to you in the light. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Together. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah May all beings everywhere be happy and free from suffering and enjoy this practice through our senses. May we always have a strong desire for the knowledge that liberates us from pain and suffering. And may we cherish no ill feelings against each other. Only peace, love, joy, and compassion. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So now let's do some breathing. The main breathing, alternate nostril breathing with breath retention. This brings the mind into a state of calmness, which is what we need ultimately for meditation, unbroken concentration. So with this technique, we're breathing in through the active nostril first, holding the breath where we're applying the throat in a root lock. Exhale through the less active side. I'll just explain it and less active and active in a moment. And then up through the less active, hold the breath again, plug both sides of the nose. Exhale out through the active side. The count is 4, 16, 8. So I'll count swiftly in case that for those who can't hold the breath very long. But when you're doing it on your own, you can just slow down the count if you like. The left hand in Yana Mudra, second finger and thumb connected, other 3 fingers extended on the left knee. The right hand, Vishnu Mudra, second and third fingers fold down. The thumb for the right nostril, the right ring finger for the left nostril. For the breath retention, you contract the root muscles, pull them up towards the navel. And then that's the root lock. And then for the throat lock, on the inhale, you want to raise the chest up, inflate the chest, so when you bring your chin down on the breath retention, your back doesn't hunch. You want to keep your back very straight. Your chin comes down onto your chest, the tongue to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth, and the attention at the space between the eyebrows. And then on the exhale, you exhale in a way that when at the end of the count, you're completely empty and you release the locks as you're exhaling. Okay, so let's give it a try for the active nostril. First of all, the second, as I said, this is Vishnu Mudra, second, third fingers folded down. When you turn the palm towards you, it becomes a mudra that we use for pranayama. The right thumb for the right nostril, and the right ring finger for the left nostril. So block off the right nostril first with the thumb, inhale through the left side a couple of times, and exhale. And then do the same thing on the other side. Block off the left nostril with the right ring finger. Whichever side feels more open is your active side. If they feel exactly the same, you can just default to your left as your left side. So my more open side is the right side, so I'll demonstrate with that side. So stay up tall and straight again. Breathe out completely. Empty the lungs. Close off the last active side. Inhale through the active. 3, 4, hold the breath. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. Hold the breath. Apply the throat in a root lock. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Breathe out through the less active side to evenly. 4, 5. Push all the air out of the lungs. 6, 7, 8. Inhale through the less active side. Fill up the lungs. Remember. 4. Hold the breath. Chin on the chest. Third eye attention. 2, 3, 4. Tongue to root mouth behind the teeth and contract the root muscles. Pull them up towards the navel. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Exhale out through the less active side. Through the active side, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In through the active. 3, 4. Hold the breath. Third eye attention. Hold for 60. Everything stops. All the mind fluctuations of body movements and the emotion demon, and so they're frozen. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Exhale out through the less active side. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale through the less active side. And breathe in as fully as you can. 4, hold the breath. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Breathe out through the active side again. 2, release the locks. 4, 5, 6, 7,
Inhale through the active. Hold for 16. Remember the count is always 4, 16, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Out through the less active side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale through the less active side. Lift the chest. Hold the breath, chin on the chest. Try to keep your mind fixed on the space between the eyebrows to see the divine perception. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Out through the active side. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. Hold the breath. Hold both sides of the nose closed. Be like the witness watching the body do the exercise. Exhale out through the left side. The less active side. 5, 6, 7, 8. Back up through the less active side for 4. Hold again. Chin on the chest. If you lose your tension, don't be unconcerned, be unjudging. Just come back. Bring your attention back to where it needs to be. It's centered in the space between the eyebrows. Exhale out through the active side. Inhale through the active. For 4, hold for 16. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Out through the less active side. Back up through the less active. Hold. Out through the active side. Conclude. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Release. Sit quietly for a moment. Fix your mind on the infinite being within. Resides in the spiritual heart located in the right side of the physical heart in the center of the chest. This infinite being is subtler than an atom, but as it has no form, is not held, not contained, restricted by the confines of the body, is everywhere. You too, therefore, are everywhere. For that is your true and divine nature. And now we try to celebrate that divine nature that resides in all beings as well. That infinite being that is everywhere. So now let's begin the practice. Come to standing. I'm trying to adjust the camera a little bit better. Okay, so now let's come to standing. So we'll start off with a few exercises to warm up the body. Start to swing from one side to the next. Try to feel all the joints, move them in every way possible to keep the body still radiant health. And now bring your hands to the hips, circle the head, making large circles as possible. The ears touching the shoulders, the chin coming right down on the chest, the back of the head sweeping across the top of the back.
And then switch the direction of rotation. Take the head all the way around. Try to see the floor no matter where the head is in its rotation. Now the right arm swings forward. Loosen up the shoulder joint. And then go backwards. Make as though you're wanting out to throw a ball. And then the other arm, left arm forward. And then go backwards. Now take hold of the elbows over the head, bend to your left. Come up, go to the right, stretch the whole left side of the body out, wrinkling, forming wrinkles in the waist. On the underside of the body, go to your left again. And go to the right. Push the hips and ribs out of the left side of the body. And then coming up, one more time to the left. And then go to the right. And coming back up, release the arms. Inhale, sweep the arms up over the head. Exhale, toss the body down. Allow the belly to come onto to just hit the thighs. And one more. Just stay hanging down, allow the body stop shaking and bouncing. And then roll your way back up. Now move the fingers very, very rapidly. Shake out the wrists. And then up and down like the wings of a hummingbird, moving so fast you can't even see them move. Good, now bring your arms out to the side and swing the right leg back and forth. If you want, you can bring your left hand to the wall. And then the other leg, try to get your knee to the shoulder. And then break. So now bring your feet together, your arms by sides of the body, your chin down on the chest. 6 counts come up, halfway up you lift the heels, we lift the palms. Inhale, 2, 3, lift up off your heels, come up high, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, and down, gracefully, 2, 3. Inhale, rise up, feel the arms floating up by themselves. Come up nice and tall, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3, and lower the heels slowly, 2, 3. Inhale, rise up taller, push into rooster toes, engage the muscles of the legs and the core. Exhale, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. One more time. Inhale, come up, watch, imagine the body moving with grace and power and ease, and this might translate into your movements. Back down, exhale, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. Bring the chin back down onto the chest in that gesture of humility. And stay in that humble mindset throughout the practice. Renounce all the fruits. Dedicate them to all beings everywhere so that they too may benefit from your experience here, your practice. So now, let's come to the front of the mat, Surya Namaskar, bring the hands to the heart center. And imagine the light and the warmth streaming down on you from the sun, representing the love and the light, the wisdom of God. Infuse yourself with it and send it out to all beings everywhere. Raise your arms up over the head, arch back, full forward, bend your knees if you need to, bring your hands flat on the ground. Right foot back, lower down the knee, drop down to the seat. Come into the high plank, lower down the knees and the seat all the way back behind the heels. Glide forward into your cobra. Pull the shoulders back, lift the head, uncoil like a snake. Come all the way back again with your seat behind the heels. Come forward again. Bhujangasana. Pull the shoulders back, open up the heart in every sense. One more time. Take the seat all the way back behind your heels. Come forward smoothly. Bhujangasana. Uncoil. And now from here, roll over your toes. Back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Melt the heart. Allow the head to drop below the arms. Right foot steps forward. If that's difficult, you can lower the back knee down. If your foot doesn't make it all the way, just use your right hand to assist the foot forward. Feet together, chest on the sides, head down. Uttanasana. Come right to standing. Engage the buttocks in the upper back to support you in the movement of leaning back. Hands back to the heart. Raise your arms up over the head again. Arch back as you see fit. Remember, move according to your condition. Pull the body down onto your legs. Left foot back. Into the plank. Down go with the knees and the seat all the way back. Glide forward. Imagine you're pulling the floor towards you with your arms so that you can propel yourself forward with more power and ease. Take the seats back and come forward again. Just come between the hands. Head up high. And one more time. Try to copy the movement of the snake. Imagine hand up boundless range of motion. Now, remember, pretend you're regal and wise like this. Well, you are regal and wise like the serpent, and all the way back over your toes. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left foot forward. All the qualities already within. You just have to turn them on. Pull the body down onto your legs, the feet together. Come right up to standing. Reach up and back. Hands back to the heart. And go up again. Reach up. Stretch the arms up over the head. Fold forward. Don't worry about the breath. Just move the body in a way that feels natural, that allows the body to move with steady and ease, and the breath to remain uniform. Right foot back into the plank. Lower down the knees, the seats back. This time as you come forward, your hips come between your hands, lift the hips and knees up off the ground. Upward facing dog. Charge the legs. Right back into downward facing dog this time. Sink the heart down, head comes below the arms. Right foot steps forward, and then the feet come together, Uttanasana. Pull the body down against the legs, head close to the feet. Right up to standing, reach up and back. And coming back home, hands to heart. Go up and back again. Fold the body down. A gesture of humbleness here. Left foot back, think about what the movement reflects. Always an intention of surrendering. Bring the seats back, all the way behind the heels. Come forward again, upward facing dog with the hips and knees away from the ground. Always one of expressing devotion and divine love towards all beings. And then left foot steps forward. Always an intention of offering. Feet together, Uttanasana. Come right up. And bring it back home, hands to the heart. Always come back to the source of divine love. Reach up and back again. And hinge forward and down, Uttanasana. Make as though you're bowing. Right foot back. This time do not let the back knee come down. Keep the back leg strong. Into the plank. Now from here you can either do chaturanga, hovering just above the ground, and through into upward facing dog, or if you can, bring the seat all the way back. And then start your ascent into upward facing dog from here. Pull the elbows into the sides of the body, press into your toes and the hands, and try to swing up into upward facing dog without touching your knees and hips to the ground. Let's do it 2 more times. Either chaturanga or come all the way back. Come forward, pull the elbows right to the sides of the body, and rise up. And then back 1 more time. Take the seat back and pull right through. Modify as you need to. You can also just come down with your body on the ground and do cobra again. Take the seat up and back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. The right foot steps forward. Remember the back knee stays lifted, back leg charged, and send the left foot into the right, Uttanasana. Come right up to standing. And come back home, hands to the heart. Go up and back. Bury your mind deep in the heart. Watch the body moving with even more steadiness, grace, and ease. Uttanasana. Left foot back. When you practice this with the intention of offering, the practice becomes not only more meaningful, but even more powerful and beautiful and strong. Into upward facing dog, and all the way back again, or just lower down in chaturanga, or on your belly and slide into cobra. And one more time, take the seat back, come forward, just do your best, don't worry about the results, let go of all expectations. Back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, and then the left foot steps forward, back leg strong, feet come together, Uttanasana, balance the legs. Come right to standing, reach up over the head. Come back home. And raise your arms up. Go back down. Good. Now from here, bend your knees, join your hands behind your back, and pull your hands all the way over your head. Uttanasana. Push your, if you have the flexibility, try to get your legs straight. Your seat comes over the heels, the chest to your knees. The forehead maybe into the shins if your legs are perfectly straight. Now from here, hold your breath, look forward. Bring the right foot back if you can without touching your fingers to the ground. Lower the knee down, flatten out the toes. Come right in Kapiyasana, bring your hands together. Form the shape of a crescent moon. Pull the right shoulder, the shoulders all the way back. Lean away from the leg. And now from here, break the pose. Hands down. From here, bring into high plank. Knees, chest, forehead to the ground, or chaturanga, through into upward facing dog, back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now bring our right foot up and back, Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step the foot between the hands, back knee down, flatten out the toes, raise your arms up again, take the arms all the way back, stretch the body out of the hips, try not to make big folds in the lower back or the back of the neck. One more stretch, reach back, and then come forward, lean to the front leg, hold your breath, swing your arms back without touching your fingers to the ground if you can, and then feet together, Uttanasana, balance the legs. Come all the way to standing, reach up over the head. All the movements again done with mindfulness, with consciousness, with reverence, hands to the heart. Raise your arms up. Good. And then fold the body down into Uttanasana. Bend your knees, land your belly on your thighs, Uttanasana again, so you can get your head even closer to the feet. Imagine your chest going beyond your knees. And then hold the breath, weight in your right foot so you can take your left foot back more easily and bring the knee down, flatten out the toes. Kapiyasana again, make as though this were a divine dance devotion. Connect all the movements seamlessly. Do every movement with love. And bring the hands down. From here, come into high plank. Lower down, either in chaturanga or knees, chest, forehead down. Through into cobra or upward facing dog. Modify according to your condition and your abilities. Back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Allow the back body to soften, the line of the back to soften. Raise the left leg up, Ekapada Adho Mukha Svanasana. And step the foot between your hands. Try not to land with a big heavy thump. Bring your shoulders over fingertips, the foot comes down softly, back knee down. Flatten out the toes. Kapiyasana, pull the arms right up as we try to pull the arms right out of their sockets. Reach. Good, you can only go as far as your imagination to cultivate a balanced imagination. Swing your arms back, weight on your left foot, hold your breath, and bring your right foot in to meet the left. Uttanasana again. Push the body into your legs, face to the shins. Come all the way up. Reach up over the head, arch back, imaginary shapeshifter moving between the forms with ease, with effortlessness. Bring your hands to the heart and raise your arms up again. Fold the body down onto your legs. From here, lift the head and chest. You can hop back or walk back. Push into your hands, bend your elbows as you're going back so you land softly into upward facing dog. Let's stay here for a moment. Move your hips a little bit further between your hands, bend your toes under, and then pulse. Imagine trying to fold the body in half at the tops of the legs is where the hinge is. Make with the dog howling at the moon. Remember, trying to copy the forms in all levels, mentally, physically, even spiritually. And then lift your seat, push and through your toes, down facing dog. Here you want to try to make like the dog stretching its back. Try to get your belly towards your thighs, your chest down, but try not to bend your elbows. Push into the ground so you're trying to push the floor away. If you're very flexible, you might be able to get your forehead, your nose, maybe even your chin to the ground. Like a slide to the playground. Steep at the top, shallow at the bottom. And now from here, lift the heels, bend the knees up between your hands. Hold your breath and just walk or jump your feet forward. Pull the body down onto your legs. Come right up to standing, reach up over the head. Come back home, hands to the heart. And again, sweep the arms up. Stretch the limit. Pull the body down. You're absolutely boundless in your potential. Lift the head and chest, press into your hands, hold your breath, and then lightly back into chaturanga. No big jerky, jarring movements. Into upward facing dog. Now here, if you can, switch from upward to downward facing dog. So round your back as you're making transition, push into your knuckles, your toes, and then back into downward facing dog. Melt the heart. You immediately come forward again. So do it 3 times if you can, or just as many times as you can. And then chest forward, head up, back the other way. Tuck your chin in, make it so you're trying to push your heart right between your shoulder blades, and then down to the side of the chest. One more time if you have it in you. Come forward, round your back, and then coil gracefully. Take the head up and back, widen through the heart, and then back the other way. Push into the knuckles to your toes, and then back down, downward facing dog. Now lay like a dog, loyal to its master here. Exhibit that beautiful quality of the dog. And then from here, getting ready to come forward, lift the heels, bend the knees with your hands. Jump forward very softly. Pull the body down onto your legs. Come right up to standing, reach up over the head, arch back. Hands back to the heart. Good, so 2 more times, 1 more full cycle, and then as fast as you can to build some heat. Raise your arms up, fold the body down, back into chaturanga, through into upward facing dog, back into downward facing dog. Getting ready to come forward now. Jump to the hands, pull the body to your legs, come right to standing, hands back to the heart, and 1 more. Up and back, forward and down. Hand chest lift, back into chaturanga, or on your belly into upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Come forward, softly between your hands, pull the body down onto your legs, come right up, arch back, and come back. Take pause here, hands at the heart center. From the heart, inhale up all the love from the heart up to the crown. Send all your love up there. Hold the breath, imagine that love now going out to all beings, just like the sun that shines down on everything. Send out to everyone and everything. And exhale back down to the heart. Remain established in the spiritual heart, the residing place of the highest self, which we call God. And then release. So now come, let's do some standing poses now. So start off with ballet pose. If you have trouble balance, you can always stand against the wall, and also give a modification if you can't get your leg up and straight. So if you can, you press down to your left foot, you take hold of the right heel up, take hold of the heel from the inside, and then you take your arm and your leg out at the same time. Now if this is too much, you can't get your legs straight, you can hold onto the knee and see if you can push the foot out, push through the base of the big toe. Okay, so if you can't do that, you just keep your knee bent, just do the best you can. Again, don't worry about the results. Fingers and toes in the same line. It can either look like a letter T or maybe like a letter Y if you're more flexible. Your leg comes up, lean a little bit to your left. If you flex your foot, again, you have a little bit better balance. Now from here, hold your breath, engage leg muscles, let go of the foot, bring it down softly, don't let it touch the ground. So you can come right into eagle from here. So you bend your left knee, you bring your belly down towards and maybe rest on the thigh. You bring the right leg all the way up and back. Try to get higher than the head. If you have trouble balancing, if you lose your balance, you can just take your index fingers to the ground. Now imagine you're a great bird soaring from a great height. You have to put yourself in the body of what and the consciousness of what you're representing. Good, now press into your left foot. So you can come right back up, hold the breath. And see if you can come up. If you had to take a break in between and put your foot down, just do what you need to. Do your best, have no judgment, no attachment to the results. And then release, try to bring the foot down softly. Everything, just whatever you're passing through is like a dance. Just dance with it all, whatever comes your way. Be unconcerned, just like the witness. Take your left heel now from the inside and come up on the other side. Be magnificent and poised and graceful like a dancer. Become one with all beings. You can lean back a little bit if you feel comfortable. Look up. Now from here, hold the breath, let go of the foot, but keep the leg engaged, leg muscles engaged, so you can swing it down and back up behind you. And make like again, that great eagle soaring down from a great height at great speed, or maybe skimming the surface of an ocean. Make adjustments as you need to. If you lose your balance, take your hands to the ground. Have no judgment. Just imagine this again as a beautiful dance of devotion. And then from here, press into your right foot, hold the breath. Always helps to hold the breath when you're coming to those challenging parts. And then back up into ballet pose if you can. Lean a little bit to the right if you have your leg up high, close to the shoulders, so that you can still keep your fingers and toes in the same line roughly. And then break the pose, bring the foot down softly. So we'll try another one here. We're going to, better do this way here. So you bring the left foot forward, bend down, bring your hand to the ground. If you need a block, you can place a block underneath your hand. Raise your right leg up, Ardha Chandrasana. Open up to the right, bring the right arm up. Now if you can't reach the ground easily, you can come down onto your knee. So just use your imagination to find forms that you can do more easily for yourself, more accessible, and find a steadiness. But now from here, if you want, take the, bend the right knee and take hold of the foot and push it up away from your body. Try and get the knee up high. And then you can look forward, roll the right hip down a little bit, the left hip over the left heel. Bring your hand to the heart if you can. If you want, bend your left knee, press into your knee, right into dancer. So the thighs parallel to the ground. If you have better balance, those of you who are more able, take the foot close to your seat, take the foot with both hands, standing bow pose. Push the foot up. Toes about the height of the head. And then break the pose. Pull the heel in towards the seat and release. Let's try it on the other side now. So it's taking your foot, taking your right foot forward now. Bend down. The right fingertips come down. Make sure it's not too close to the foot. At least beyond the foot, at least 14 to 16 inches or so. Raise the left leg up again. Come onto your right knee if it's not possible. If it's too much, and then come up with your left arm. Open up to your left. Raise the left leg up as high as you can. And try to keep all the movement in the same line, like you're being pressed between two panes of glass. So try not to hunch forward. Good. And then from here, bend your knee if you like. Take hold of the heel while it's close to the seat, and then push the foot up, away from the body. Pull the left shoulder back. Pull with your foot so that you come up higher. And from here, if you like, looking down, roll the left hip down a little bit, and see if you can take your right hand to your heart. Hold your breath, your hip is over the heel. And if you can press into your right foot, come into dancer. So if it's too much, you can even stay upright like this. Okay, so again, according to your abilities, if you want, take your foot close to your seat again, take it with both hands, and come up, standing bow pose. Get your shoulders up over the hips, the foot about the toes, about the height of the head. And then break the pause, pull heel in and release. So we'll go on now, standing in the middle of the mat with facing along edge of the mat. We're going to go to your left first, so if you go to your left, turn to your left and you're not seeing the screen, then just turn around 180 degrees. Take your fingers on the line of the elbows, jump your feet apart, go to your left. Slide your right foot back, try to get your knee over the toes. You have to get your hips down nice and low. If it's too much, you can lower the back knee down. Eventually you want to be so far forward and low that when your right fingers come down, they touch the ground. Strong and steady like the warrior. Be willing to work hard. Imagine all beings who can't practice want you trying to deliver the benefit to them as well. Now bring the right arm up to meet the other one, Virabhadrasana 1. If your hip is still stuck, turn to the right and can't turn it easily, you can lift the back heel up. Again, you come down onto your knee if it's too much. Take the head back. Lower the knee down, flatten out the toes, Kapyasana. Wiggle your shoulders back and forth. Try to get your arms back behind the ears. Keep your arms straight. So think of a crescent-shaped moon. You don't see crescent-shaped moon with any kinks in the line, in the curve. Nice straight line. Imagine the index fingers going with the back toes. If it's too much, again, take a modification. Take your hand to your knee, lean back, or even take hold of the opposite elbows. This is the nice in between. Imagine you're lying down at the beach. Allow the head to be heavy in your arms. Lift the body up out of the hips. And then coming back up, bring your hands to the knee and push your weight back up. Good, so bring the left foot in a little bit so your legs are like a box, bend the toes under and the back foot. Parivrita Paschimottanasana. Right arm up. I'm going to do it this way so you can see a little bit from this angle. And then angle the toe and the knee towards the right, anchor the leg in place with your left hand. Try to get your armpit to come right down on the outside of the knee. Left hand pushes into right. If you need a fist, gives you a bit more power to push down into the right hand. So the belly comes higher than the thigh. And it gives you more room to spin. Bring the center of the chest to the thumbs. Roll the left shoulder all the way back. Pull the left hip back to the top of the head forward. Lengthen your line before you twist. If you want to take a bind, push your seat back so you have more distance between your foot and your hip, and more distance for the arm to go down under more easily. Take your left hand, guide your head underneath your leg to the other side. And then take your left hand over your back, pull the hand out. You can lock your fingers together or hold the left wrist as your right hand. And then again, left shoulder moves all the way back. Eventually you might look like you're lying on your back. If you can, hold your breath and take your back knee up off the ground. Now those who want a bit of a challenge can look forward, bring the right foot in, try to get your hip over the heel and raise your right leg up. If it's too much to do with your bind, that's for, as Dharma says, professionals. You can take the right hand in front, about, again, 12 inches in front of the left foot, on the inside of the foot, and then bring the right leg up, and do it without the bind. Left arm comes up. or stays on the seat. Okay, so the leg is floating above the height of the hip. And then come back down. From here, lizard. So you move your left foot out to your edge of the mat, fall to the right so you can get your right hip to come down, and then roll back to your left. So if your hips are anchored down, it makes it easier for the rest of the body to follow. Eventually the pelvis comes down, followed by the belly, and then maybe the chest. Make sure your knee's not falling way out to the side, or make sure this isn't happening either. Try to have your knee over the foot, and eventually try to get your back lower than your knee. If you have tight hips, stay on your hands, but keep dropping your hips down like you're doing a cobra. Think of that pose. Think of all the similar poses that are familiar with you, and maybe this will help you in your other. Many poses are very similar, but they're just oriented in different ways. If you're very flexible, bring your chest right down on the ground, your shoulders sitting on the foot, left shoulder. And then coming back onto your hands. So turn this way so you can see. Bend the toes under the back foot, lift the heel, lift the knee, and then come back to the face, the long edge of the mat. Come up again, go to the right. Bend the right knee, come forward again. Strong and determined like the warrior. Embrace all the characteristics, all the qualities of that which you're representing. Merge with them. It's through the physical forms that's how God manifests in this physical world. Now from here, swing the left arm up so you try to tap into the divine qualities of every being, your reflection of God's magnificence and grace. Head all the way back. And bring the back knee down, flatten out the toes. Kavyasana again. Pull the arms back behind the ears. If you know the variations, go ahead. Push your chest up and back, and bring the fingertips back as far as you can. Squeeze the heels, your palms together. Or again, take your modifications. Take all the opposite elbows, lean your head back in your arms, or just even take your hands to your knee and lean away from your leg. Pull your body back upright. Padivita Paschimottanasana. Move the right foot in a little bit. Bend the toes under on the back foot. Raise the left arm up. Go to the outside of the leg. Right hand pushes into your left. Push hard, so you don't want to be low with your body caught down underneath behind your leg and the hands at the shoulders. You have to push the right hand down to your left so that the body comes up. The belly higher than the thigh, then roll the right shoulder all the way back. Turn the face and chest up. If this is all too much, you can stay upright like this. So again, to go to a place where you can find steadiness. You're going to the edge of your potential. Bit by bit, you just keep practicing, and maybe at some point, your body will obey with those images that you're seeing in your mind of the postures. If you like, take the bind, take the back knee up off the ground if you like as well. Pull the right shoulder all the way back. Make sure the knee's not sagging. If your leg is up, push back to the heel and to the roots of your toes. Now you can stay here, or you can come into bound, revolved Adho Chandrasana, or the revolved Adho Chandrasana without the bind. You're taking the bind, walk the foot in a little bit more. The right hip has to be over the right heel. Hold your breath. If you need to, then take your left leg up. Alternatively, take your left hand forward if it's too much with your bind. Left leg up, and take the right hand to your seat. Push the right shoulder back. Chest flush with the long edge of the mat, and perhaps you can take the right arm up as well. And take the left foot down now, break the pose. Slide your left toes all the way back. Move the right foot to the edge of the mat. So you can position yourself so the knee stays over the foot, and then lean to your left. Try to get your left hip to come down, and the left arm maybe, and then go to the right. Try to have both sides of the seat anchored down, so one hip should not be way higher than the other one. Your body is nice and low, eventually lower than the knee. Those who are very flexible, come right down onto your chest. Imagine you're a lizard sunning itself on a warm earth. Modify if you need to, just stay on your hand, but just sink your hips. Imagine your hips were made of lead. Your pelvis very, very heavy, and the rest of the body might come down. And then coming back onto the hands. From here, bend the toes under, and then swivel around again, face the long edge of the mat. From here, I'll do it sideways, you can see. Arms out to the side, come up. Easy chakrasana here. Pull the heels in, bend your knees so your knees come a little bit more over the toes, hands to your seat, and push into seat, pull down. Keep your weight in your feet, the inner edges especially. Push your hips forward. Allow the head to drop back. You can keep your hands on the seat, push in and pull down at the same time to stay on the seat. Or if you want, move your hands down, slide them down the backs of your legs one at a time, landing them just a little bit below the knees. Heels, your palms are pressing into the calves, and then you pull the thighs, roll the thighs outwards, roll the shins inwards. Use your thumbs, your hands to rotate the legs in a counter spiral. Then if you can, push your hips forward and up, try to straighten your legs more. If you're more flexible, you can keep walking your hands down. You might even, some of you might be able to get your step on your fingers, your heels, your palms with your heels. And then make your way back. Hands back to the backs of the legs, walk your hands back up one at a time, and press into your seat, push down, pull down, and come back up. Arms out to the side. Now take your hands behind the back, join your hands together, inhale, lift the chest, head up and back. Pali Vita Pashakanasa. This time, pull your heels out so the edges of the feet are parallel to one another, and with the short edges of the mat, and see if you can get your head down towards or maybe on the ground. If you're more flexible, try to get your head between your feet. If your head comes down very easily, you can move your feet in a little bit closer and see if you can still get your head down. Try to keep your back straight from the seat all the way to the crown. Those who are very flexible can maybe take your hands to the ground, right to the ground in front of your head. Don't force, don't go again to a place of pain, anxiety, suffering, or distress. Don't push yourself to the point where you're feeling something that you don't want others to feel. Good. Those who are more flexible might be able to get the back of the head in line with your heels, your chest behind your legs. And if you feel apt to do so, you can either take any kind of inversion, a headstand, a tripod headstand, maybe in a forearm balance if you like. You can bring your hands down on either side of the head, and from here you lift up. So you want to walk your elbows a little bit forward, a little bit more difficult to come into forearm balance from here. You have to really engage your core, and then straddle up. If you want, you can do it with your head on the ground, of course, a little bit easier. Again, you can stay in your Asavita Padottanasana if you like. You don't even have to come up. Okay. Tripod headstands, and come back down. Everyone come back down actually. So open up your feet, engage your leg muscles as you come closer, your core muscles as you come closer, so that you can keep your seat up and land your feet very quietly beside your head. And from here, take your arms out to the side, come all the way back up. From here, jump your feet back together. Stand tall like a mountain. From the base of the spine, imagine at the base of the mountain, come all the way up. Bring the breath all the way up to the crown. Imagine as the summit of the mountain. Exhale back down to the base of the mountain, base of the spine. Remain unshakable, unmovable in your devotion to the practice. Now from here, come down onto your knees. And so you can either sit on your heels, bend your knees, you can just walk your hands back as far as you can go. Lift your seat, curl the tail under, and then just go as far as you can. Feel stretch from the shoulders all the way to the knees. You can allow your head to hang back. If you're more flexible, you can sit between your heels. Supta Virasana. Come down lower, maybe on the forearms. Again, tilt your hips forward so that there's no big fold across the lower back. Those you can come right down onto your back. And if you're on your back, you can take hold of your opposite elbows over your head. Take a deep breath in here, wherever you're at. Exhale, feel the whole back body just sinking down into the mat if you're on your back. But just otherwise, just relax from whatever position you're in. Let go of all struggle, all efforts. Getting ready to come back. If you're on your back, place your hands on the soles of your feet. Push it against the heels your palms. And dig into your elbows, lift your chest up off, your back up off the ground. Tuck your chin in and then make your way back up. So now Vasisthasana. Come onto your hands, step back into plank. Move your left hand more towards the right. And come into Vasisthasana. Arms in one line. Make sure your hips are not sagging down, you're not falling into your shoulder. Keep your hips up. If you need to modify, if it's too much for your wrist, take your left knee down. And push your hips forward and up. If you're more flexible, keep hips up, maybe slide your toes back, right toes back. Spin on the heel of the palm, come into wild thing. So you might be able to come right to Urdhva Dhanurasana. Keep spinning on your hands. If you can reach the right hand to the ground and come right into Urdhva Dhanurasana from here. Or other variations if you know them. And then coming back, spin on the heel of the palm. If you're in Urdhva Dhanurasana, keep your left arm extended, your left hip high. And then come back to downward plank and then downward facing dog. If you're doing Urdhva Dhanurasana, you can start from downward facing dog. The advantage is that your hip is already up, so go to the other side. Right hand plants in, moves in towards your left. Come into your Vasisthasana first. Your hips are nice and high, arms in one line. Or if you want, slide your left toes back. Push your hips right forward and up. Spin on the heel of the palm. And then you push into the roots of your left toes. And then maybe your hands and your feet land beside one another. Again, according to your abilities, just go to the extent that you can. And then come back. Spin on the heel of the right palm. Keep your hip high. Keep your right arm fully extended. Come back into downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Soften the line in the back. From here, come forward into plank. Lower the right knee down. Swing the foot out towards the left. Left knee comes right in behind it. Swing the foot out towards the right and come sit between your heels. If this is, if you can't get both sides of the hips down, you can lean to your left and bring your left leg out in front. Like that, your knees still one top of the other. Or you can even just sit with your legs, your thighs together, sit on your heels. So do again according to your abilities. Right arm up. Take the left hand to the elbow, push it up higher, and then push it further back behind the head. The hands walk further down the back between your shoulder blades. And then you can either keep in this position here, if this is already at your edge, or take your left arm up, bring it up the back, and join your hands together. Push into the back of the heart. Lift your head. As you inhale, keep rising up through the heart. Lengthen the spine, exhale, pull the hands further down the back, tug on the hands, but don't let your whole body drop back down into your hips. Stay tall and supreme. each time again you find stillness in the pose, stay there. Eventually you find stillness and the ability to quiet the mind in any pose. You lose the struggle, you start to lose identification of the body and mind, for you're none of these. You're not the emotions either. Tuck the chin in, release, shake it out. And then if you're doing a cross-leg version, like the full pose, come back into plank, lower the left knee down, swing the foot out towards the right, and then the right knee comes in behind it. And then sit down between the heels. Make sure you're not sitting on your feet, they're right beside you. Sit on a block if you need to, or extend the right leg out in front. Left arm up. And take your elbow up and back. Push with the right hand, get the elbow up. A little bit higher, a little bit further back. The hand comes to the back, up between your shoulder blades. And then if you like, you can take the right hand up. If you're joining your hands together, if your hands are bound, try to pull the right elbow in, right underneath the other one. Anchor the left arm in place as the back of the head. Keep your shoulders down. If your eyes are popping out of your head, it might be an indication you might be pushing a little bit too much. Find a place where you can find the ease and steadiness, but still bring yourself to the edge of your edge of your abilities. Always doing so in a mindful way so you can keep progressing, and each time you redefine your edge, but not to the point where you're just always in a constant state of anxiety or distress. And then release, tuck your chin in. Just listen to your inner guru who's guiding you from within. Okay, so headstand now, Shirshasana, king of the postures. If you know how to get into it, you can go ahead. If you need more assistance, or if you're not comfortable coming up very far off the ground, bring the forehead to the ground in front of your knees. Lift your seat up, try to get your hips over your knees. Imagine trying to push the heart right through the back of the body and the belly button through the lower back. If it feels like too much pressure on the back of the neck, just move your head forward a little bit. If you feel like you can go into the next stage, you can come onto your fingertips or flat hands. Make sure they're not beside your head. They're the wrists in line with your knees. And then lift your seat up, walk your feet forward. And then just rest your knees against your, just underneath your knees against your elbows. I personally like to turn my hands around because there's lots of power in the fingertips and gives you a little bit more height of edge. You can just get your hips up a little bit higher and then bend your toes away from the ground. You can just stay here so you don't have far to go. If you start feeling comfortable, you just bring your toes back down. Or you can just press your feet right up. Move your knees a little bit closer onto your upper arms. Eventually, you may be able to split your legs, bring one leg back, one leg forward, walk your hands out a little bit more. So you create a nice wide base. Again, not beside your head, in front where you can see them in line. And then the arms are more than 90 degrees. This gives you a nice open position to come up. Your back stays a little bit, has the ability to come up and stay straight when you come up. Eventually, your feet are hovering at the same height in line with your hips. Advanced practitioners, you can try to come up off. Feel comfortable, you come up off all but just the index finger eventually. Maybe in one hand. So just practice every once in a while. Okay, so flex your feet. This helps to engage the muscles. Okay, so just practice taking one hand off at a time. And then maybe 1 more minute. Experiment with whatever you're doing. If you have a lotus, you can do a lotus if you like. If you're not already there, it makes the mind more one-pointed. touch your chest on the very fingernail, even 99% of the weight on your head. And then get ready to come down very slowly with control, no rush. You can split your legs if you like. Touch down without making any noise. Come into child's pose. Breathe in and breathe out. So control the movement so even the descent is nice and smooth. Now come up. And then we're going to make our way into shoulder stand. So take your legs out in front, sit to one side. You might want to scooch to the front of the mat so you have room to go back and still be on the mat. So you're sitting right in front of the mat and just tuck your chin in. Press the pole back. Press into your arms and send your feet behind your head. Now try to get your shoulders behind your body, your wrists together so your elbows come close to one another. As close as you can. From the front you can no longer see your arms at all. And then perhaps you can bring your hands on the back. Push into your back. Take your time coming up with one leg. Try to get the foot as high as you can as we're trying to reach the ceiling with your foot. And then take your other leg up. Try to have your legs in a straight line from the toes all the way down to the chin. If your hands are not, elbows are not behind your back, you can modify as you need to. So maybe the pose might look a little bit more like this with your legs at an angle, or maybe even you can even sit on your hands if it's too much. With your feet up, you can even bring your legs against the wall and your seat right against the wall. Do according to your condition. If you have a lotus, do it now. You may want to push your knees up higher than the hips if you can. Whether your legs are straight or lotus, you can also try to bring your hands to your thighs. You have to be right on top of your shoulders. Push hips all the way forward. Nothing to do. Nowhere to go but deeper within, beyond the body, the mind, and the emotions. Now, Pindasana, if you have a lotus, bring a lotus right against your body, and if you know the position, wrap your arms around the legs. You can join your hands underneath the seat. If you don't have the lotus, come back in plow pose. Your feet behind your head, and if you like, if your feet don't touch down, keep holding your hands on your back. If you want, you can bring your thighs against your body, your knees against the side of the head. Maybe your shoulders and your knees come together. Withdraw from your senses completely. All the inputs are coming in through the ears and the eyes. Shut them out. Be undisturbed. Be unjudging if you start to lose your concentration again. Just do your best to make your mind one-pointed. Its focus. Now those of you who know how to do it, you can walk your feet over to the left of your head. Drop your left knee down right beside your left shoulder. Maybe you can bring your right knee down too. You might have to bring your right hand beside your head. And you can even push off the back of the shoulder and back of the head and come all the way up, roll up into camel. Hands on your hips and then back onto your heels. Push your chest up, allow the head to fall back, and immediately come right back. So come into hare pose. Tuck your chin in, bring your
left shoulder in front of your left knee, the left side head on the ground, and you have to push into the shoulder, push off the toes, come back into plow pose. And then go to the other side. So walk your feet. Again, you can stay in plow pose if you don't know how to do this, you can stay there. It's only if you know how to do it. You can walk your feet over towards the right, drop your right knee down, right beside your shoulder on the outside. Use your left hand to help you to get your left knee down beside your right knee as well. Tuck your chin in and roll up. So now you're on the outside of the mat. Again, into your camel position. Hips forward, hands on the heels. Allow the head to come back and then back. All these transitions smooth like you're doing a part of a dance. Then the right shoulder comes down in front of the right knee. Bring the right side head on the ground. Just press into the back of the head, the back of the shoulder, and then come back to plow pose. Now from here, getting ready to roll right into fish pose. Bring your hands behind your back, the palms down. Keep your legs glued to your body as long as you can as your legs are coming down. And once the seat lands on the wrist, keep bringing your legs down. Stop when you're about halfway down. If you feel okay here, keep your legs there, keep them charged. Now lift your back up off the ground. Pull your elbows in a little bit closer. And then push your chest up. Bring the head back, top of the head back towards the ground, on the ground even. And then if it's too much, you bring your legs down all the way to the ground. If you can sustain it like this, breathe very fast and into fish pose. Bring your feet close to your seat. Take your hands out from underneath. Keep your head where it is, if you can. You bring your fingertips on either side of the head, fingers equally spread apart, and then lift your seat up off the ground. Push into your fingertips and slide your head back a little bit further behind your hands, closer to the feet. Turn your hands around so the fingers are facing towards the heels and turned outward a little bit. Now you can stay with your head on the ground or lift up. Inhale to Urdhva Dhanurasana. Alternative to this is bridge pose. Keep the back of the head on the ground, the back of the shoulders, just lift your seat up. Okay, so now stretch. You can rock back and forth a little bit if you like. Try to get your chest in front of your arms. Come off your heels. Advanced practitioners, do whatever you want. You can jump back and forth. TikToks where you can come up and come back down, whatever you like. Take a little bit more time in the pose. Work your stamina. Have angry determination to stay in a pose. As if you don't stay in a pose long enough, as Dharmaji says, you don't make progress. In 20 years, you're still going to be in the same place in your practice. And then come down. Bring your heels down, bring your head down, and come down onto your back. Breathe in. Breathe out all fatigue. Relax. Good. Now from here, just for fun, roll all the way back into plow again. Push into your arms, lift your legs. So you can get your feet back. So you have an option here to just roll on your back and forth, holding onto the backs and knees and just rolling like this. Okay, doing about 3 times. If you want a little bit of a challenge, take hold of big toes, your 2 peace fingers and your thumbs, and then hold your breath. Come up into Bandhavasana. Try not to bend your knees. And again, roll back 2 more times. Hold your breath. And come up. You have to really pull on your toes. 1 more time. Good. And then now we'll stay in boat pose. If it's too much, have your legs straight. You can bend your knees. You can take your arms beside your legs like so. And stay there. If you're more flexible, you keep holding onto your toes. And then straighten your legs. And then from here, breathe very fast in the nose.
here, open up your legs. So options here, you can have your knees bent like this, keep your belly close to your thighs, your back straight. If you can, you straighten your legs, stay like this. If you're more flexible, you keep your feet together. You can cross your hands behind your shins and bring your legs up right against your forehead. Your shins pressing against the forehead. And from here, bring the legs down. Kurmasana preparation. You want to have your toes up, your feet on either sides of the mat. Slide your arms forward underneath your legs and take hold of the edge of the feet. And try to get your elbows just out beyond the shins on the outside. Try to get your head down. Try to get your shoulders lower than the knees. Eventually belly comes down. If you're more flexible, don't have to waste your time, you can go into Kurmasana from here. You might want to walk your feet a little bit closer, just the inner edges of the mat. And then bring your hands back. Your arms are beside your hips, and then slide your feet forward. Try to have your legs higher up on your arms, close to the shoulders as opposed to the elbows. It's not going to be very comfortable if they're resting on your elbows. And then, if your elbows are free, you can even join your hands behind your back. There is a time to be still in the pose, where you can find the ability to meditate. See God again in all the forms, the divine essence that is within everybody. Now break the pose. Take your arms out from underneath. Hands behind your back about 10 inches, about the width of the shoulders. Bring your feet up or in a little bit, the feet about 10 inches apart. So it looks like a bench pose. You're going to throw your hips up, chest higher than the shoulders, allow the head to drop back. If it's too much for your wrist, you can just stay with your seat down and lift your chest. If you're stronger, you can bring your feet forward. Make sure your toes are down though, so don't bring your feet too far forward until so the toes come up off the ground. Roll the thighs towards one another, chest up, head back, bust your breath again. Tuck the chin in and lower down. From here, cross your ankles, make your way onto your belly. So bending your back the other way now, bring your forehead to your hands. And just shake your hips around a little bit. Move your hips like you're a snake trying to creep your way out of your own skin. And then take your hands underneath the shoulders, roll the shoulders back and start to make your way up. If it's too much, you can stay on your forearms. Tug on the edges of the mat to give yourself a little bit of traction. So you just try to keep on pushing your chest forward away from your seat so you don't get, again, a big fold across the lower back. Keep the lower back long. Eventually, you might be able to take your elbows up off the ground, take your head back, form a C shape with your spine. And then keep walking your hands closer and closer. Put your hands in one hand length at a time. Make sure you don't lose your neck either. Keep your shoulders down, your shoulders wide. Progressively come up higher. Test it out. Push your chest forward and up all the time, away from your seat. Eventually you can maybe come right on your fingertips. Try to have your hands right in front of your hips. Push into your fingertips, and now the whole trunk from the tops of the legs up is up off the ground. Take your head up and back. And here, if you walk your feet a little bit further apart and bend your knees, bring your toes up, you might eventually bring your feet closer to the head. advanced practitioners. If you're staying in this pose, hold your breath. Take off one hand, reach back, take hold of the shin if you can, and the other one. Again, this variation for advanced practitioners or professionals, as Dharmaji says. From here, release the pose. Always done in a mindful way. Try not to fly out of the pose without control. Do it with grace, sustainedness. Breathe in, breathe out. Dhammirasana. Come on to one forearm, lift the right forearm, lift the left leg, take hold of the left, bend the left leg, bring the foot up towards the seat, take hold of the ankle, and pull your foot up. And then hold your breath, keep pushing your ankle into your hand, bring the other leg up, the foot up, and take hold of that foot. Might be a little bit more easy transition into bow pose. Now you can stay with your legs on the ground, your thighs, and keep pushing ankles back. Try to get your chest up. You keep pulling through your legs will bring you up. Eventually, if you get your feet up high enough, you'll be able to see your toes over your head. Rock if you like. You're able to get right back onto your knees. Stay a little bit longer if you can. Fight to stay in the pose. And then release, pull heels in and release. Breathe in, breathe out, soften everything. Alright, so now any other back bend you'd like. You can do bow pose again, you can do cobra, you can do Urdhva Dhanurasana. If you want to try scorpion, you can. For scorpion, I'll just demonstrate quickly. You want to have your elbows closer than the elbows, the shoulders. So if you keep going, if you have starting too far out, they'll just keep sliding out and then you'll just eventually sink and you lose the strength in your arms. So pull the elbows in a little bit closer, a little bit inside of the shoulders so that you can stay strong through the arms. Try to have a straight line, vertical line from the elbows to the shoulders. Spread your fingers and then from here, lift your seat, bring one foot up. And see if you can push off of the foot. The closer you get your foot, the less you have to jump. Your other foot over your head, hanging down low in front, as far as possible in front of you. Keep the foot flexed, bend the toes under. And see if you can just push it off very with control, not too hard, otherwise you go right over. Okay, so always slightly. Again, if you can just have the flexibility, you try to get your foot as close to your elbows first so you don't have to jump. Just push off raise your toes, and then you might be up. You can do it with your head on the ground again. You can start with your head on the ground. Your head is between your wrists. If you can come up into headstand like this and go ahead, your legs split, and then really push into your hands, your elbows, your forearms, and see if you can tilt your head up away from the ground. So just like you're about to make your way to cobra from sliding into it. You lift your head, and then you're up. So again, whatever pose you like to do, if you don't want to do this one, do another back bend. More advanced, you can go into scorpion if you like. Bring both feet over your head, press one foot into the other. Guide them. The pushing action of one foot into the other will bring your feet close to your head. And then make your way down from wherever you are. Child's pose, breathe in. Breathe breathe out. Roll up to seated position. Take your legs out in front. Ardha Matsyendrasana. If you can, your left leg folds in and your foot is beside your right hip, your left foot on the outside. Right hand behind the back, left arm up. Inhale, reach up. And take hold of your thigh from the outside. Inhale, push your lower back up and in. Turn to the right. If this is not accessible, you take your left leg out. And your foot slides further forward in front and beyond the knee. Keep your back straight. Make sure your hand is close to your seat, right against the seat, in fact. So you don't lean back. Shoulders over the hips. Try to eventually get your chin right over your back shoulder. Pull the belly away from the thighs so you're not crushing your belly. Now just try to move your knee beyond the edge of your body. Come back to the face forward, change your legs around, either in a full pose or with the right leg extended this time, your left foot on the outside of the shin, not too close to the hip, right arm up. And go to your left. If you want, if you have the full pose, you can take hold of the heel, pull on the heel, push your lower back up and in with your left arm, and go to your left. Come back, lie on your back for a few moments. Make your way down softly. No big heavy landings again. When you're on your back, take a deep breath in. Exhale, imagine you're fainting, let go of all fatigue, all struggles, all tension. Shavasana is where you have the ability to remove even more of the impurities. Imagine beams of light coming in from all around you. Beams of light and energy coming right through into the body, through the pores of the skin. And then just penetrating into all those impurities and then just destroying them. Breaking them all apart, nothing left of them. This makes room for more of the best come in, the benefits. So you can fully benefit from all that is incoming. The impurities come at all, or exist at all levels, the mental, physical, and spiritual realms. They manifest physically through these sensations of blockage, through restriction, withholding attention. So imagine that light and energy coming in and just bursting them all apart. Leaving you feeling freer and lighter. Mentally, they come in a form of, these impurities come in a form of ignorance, and most specifically, the ignorance of what your true nature is, which is infinite, immutable, divine, pure, stainless. So again, imagine all the light and energy coming in to break out all those impressions of what the common form of ignorance that prevent you from seeing, recognizing your true self, your true nature, beyond the body, the mind, and the emotions. And spiritual impurities, that which causes us to stray from the ethical rules and to fail from exercising compassion towards all beings and seeing all beings with unconditional love. So imagine all those healing, powerful beams of light and energy coming in to destroy all those tendencies, those behaviors that bring about pain and suffering, not only for yourself, but maybe for others as well. Keep residing in a spiritual heart, keep establishing a spiritual heart. Now make your way back up to seated position. Ready to carry that out, that intention into the day-to-day life now. In all your interactions, exercising compassion and love towards all beings. Seeing each being as divine. So let's close the practice with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Instill the peace within and send it out to all beings everywhere. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to the grace of God. All is within. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining.